All right. Everybody ready? We're going to start the meeting. All right. Thank you, guys. Let's begin. The Meridian Arts Commission's mission is to develop, advance, and nurture all facets of the arts to enhance the quality of life for Meridian's residents and its visitors. Today is Thursday, August 14th, 2025. It is 3:34 p.m. Thank you for coming. Let's do attendance. Lizzie Taylor. Bridget King.
Here.
Sean Muscolo.
Here.
I am here. Crystal Paulson.
Here.
Patrick O'Leary doesn't seem to be here today. Bobby Gatan.
Here.
Sayun Song. She's not here today. Is she online? I don't think so. Okay. And Jay Smith.
Here.
Okay, welcome everyone. We'll move on to our first item. And I will say, I think we do have to be out of the building by 4:55, so we'll try to keep this within time. Yes. So do I have a motion to adopt the agenda today?
I move that we adopt the agenda.
All right, Crystal Paulson, do we have a second?
Second.
Lizzie Taylor seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Any opposed? All right, let's move on to approve the minutes from last meeting, July 10th, 2025. Does anybody want to motion to approve those?
Madam Chair, so moved.
Lizzie Taylor motions. Do we have a second?
I second.
Bridget King seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We have two very special guests today. First, we'll hear from Sean Evans from the Chamber of Commerce, which we're really grateful to you for coming, Sean. And then next, we'll hear from Nellie Grabian. Thank you guys for both coming today. But yeah, thanks, Sean. You're welcome to take the floor.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chairman, Commissioners. Thank you, Cassandra, for inviting me to come share about the Meridian Chamber of Commerce's efforts to establish an auditorium district in Meridian. So first, I'm going to give you a little bit of a history and an explanation of what an auditorium district is and where the Chamber has been on this process the last really more than a decade of working on this. So the Chamber almost 14 years ago was working to establish an auditorium district in our community. And you'll hear a little bit later of why it ties back to why the Chamber's leading this effort. But I want to begin with a little bit of a lesson on what an auditorium district is and why we were looking to do that. So we all know that there's a lack of conference and meeting facility space here in Meridian. We're trying to overcome this deficiency of space. We need our business community to lead that effort. The Chamber as a leader in the community, we need the support and champion of the entire community in order to form this district. So what is an auditorium district? It is a part of the tools that the legislature has allowed for communities to establish. It is a special taxing district. It is a taxing district that allows the collection up to 5% of the visitor lodging on hotels located within the district boundaries. Revenue and fees do not come from any other source. This does not impact your property taxes, your income tax, or any other sales tax. This is only on overnight stays. So it's basically in communities, it's called a bed tax. It's an additional bed tax. And Boise's had this for many years, and I'll touch on that in a moment. Nampa just got theirs established this last November. So the statute the legislature provides allows you to use these funds to build, operate, maintain, market, and manage public auditorium, exhibition halls, convention centers, sports arenas, or things of similar nature. Districts are then governed by a elected body of nonpartisan board of directors. And I'll tell you a little bit later how we're following the statute to establish that initially as well. So current examples in Idaho, probably most familiar with GBAD, Greater Boise Auditorium District. It was formed in 1959. They built the Boise Center, the initial Boise Center, in 1990. They added on to the facility and created the Boise Center East in 2017. And then in 2021, they moved to a different location and built the Greater Boise Aquatic Center out on Federal Way. Today, that district, based on their 5% tax collection on hotel stays in their district boundaries, collects about $13 million annually to use to, as I said before, build, maintain, market, and manage a facility in their district boundaries. Pocatello formed their district in 1998. In 2016, they built the Mountain View Event Center, and they're working to expand that center today. Today, it currently has 3 basketball courts. It's got some other small meeting space within it, and it's primarily used in Pocatello for a lot of community events. They do bring in some outdoor, out-of-town sporting events and things for that space, but their auditorium district built the Mountain View Event Center. Idaho Falls formed their district in 2011. They raised $16 million in district funding since they were established. And in November of 2022, they opened the $62 million Mountain America Center. If any of you have been over there and seen their facility, it's where they host their hockey team. It's got a 10,000 square foot conference space in it as well. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility. When they built that in 2022, it cost $62 million. It probably costs north of $100 million today. I don't have any exact numbers of how much their district is bringing in, nor do I have that on Pocatello. But Nampa's district was established just this last November after 3 attempts to establish their district. And I'll tell you the process that we go through in a moment. But this last November, the vote to establish was 61%. So it's only required to get a simple majority of 50%. Theirs passed by 61% this last November. Theirs is a little bit different. They're not looking to build something completely new like we are. They are going to be adding on to the Idaho Ford Center and the Nampa Civic Center with their district funds. So it's something that they've designated that as their efforts to add on and market that facility, those facilities. Estimated collections are about 1.8 million annually for the Nampa district based on the hotels and the revenue generated from their hotels in their district boundaries. The potential benefits of a district is bringing outside visitors and dollars to Meridian. And this is all paid for by that hotel tax. Nobody locally would pay 1 red cent of this tax unless you decided to stay in a hotel here in Meridian, or you paid for in-laws to stay at a hotel, and I would gladly pay that instead of having them stay with me. So visitors bring in outside dollars to local businesses, stimulating our economy. An event center is also a significant catalyst project for our area, for additional development and help to create a little bit more community identity. And it meets that first need that I've mentioned is additional meeting space, sporting events, even graduations. Meridian has the largest school district in the state, has 6 of the biggest high schools, and we cannot hold a single high school graduation in our community. We have to go to Boise or Nampa to even hold a high school graduation. So we just don't have facilities big enough. conferences, musical events, all these type of things. And then, of course, additional jobs. Why Meridian? We're located in the center of the valley. We've got the family environment. There's a need of at least 28,000 square feet in meeting space in Meridian. A multi-use event center would also raise the regional, state, and national levels profile of Meridian. So one of the things that we did is a first step, we did this in 2023, is have a feasibility study conducted of what does it mean to bring an auditorium district and what is it that we need in our community for that. Cassandra, if you would flip over to the next presentation. I'm going to share with you the findings from the feasibility study. The presentation Meridian right there. Yeah. All right. So the Meridian Chamber, we raised the funds and we contracted with Convention Sports and Leisure to come in and do a feasibility study on what is it that our community needs. They initially met with a lot of community stakeholders, different sporting groups, different arts groups, the children's theater, just a lot of different individuals in the community on what is it that we need. One of the things the study very early on identified is, well, our community wants things like a performing arts center, or there was a huge interest in bringing the Boise Hawks Stadium here, or things like that. A auditorium district must build and support something that, in my words, it feeds itself. So while we would love to have a performing arts center or a baseball stadium here, is that really going to bring in visitors that stay overnight? I'm going to go to it. You're going to go to the things at the Performing Arts Center, but are you going to stay in our hotels? Probably not so much. So the study then started focusing on what's missing from the valley that will bring more visitors to our valley, bring more dollars in. And nationally, one of the fastest growing sectors of tourism is sports tourism. How many of you have kids or grandchildren that you travel for different sports, cheer, dance competitions, and things like that? Travel around. Well, not as many hands go up as in many of my other presentations, but I'm one of those. I had a daughter that was in competitive cheer, and for 6 years we traveled all over the country to these large cheer competitions and not one time did we ever get to host anything here in the Treasure Valley because we don't have facilities to host these type of things. Nor do we have adequate indoor space for sporting events. We have some of the best softball fields, soccer fields, outdoor sports activity areas in the state here in the Treasure Valley. But what we are lacking is indoor sports facilities, things that are large enough to hold the size of tournaments that we're looking to attract. Yes, we've got the basketball courts here in Meridian at home court, but that also primarily serves the citizens of Meridian. Those are going to be local deals. What we're looking for is large enough facility that you can have 8 to 10 basketball courts under one roof at one time to handle these large tournaments that are looking to bring in 100, 150 teams, 2,000, 3,000 people for these type of tournaments. Volleyball tournaments that need 20 courts under one roof, wrestling tournaments, martial arts tournaments. We've even had inquiries for AKC kennel clubs that want to bring in shows. We've had inquiries about activities such as drone competitions that need the type of indoor space that we don't have currently anywhere in the Treasure Valley. So let me go to page 4. Or I got it. Thank you. So reasons that we decided to consider a sports event center was primarily because the growing demand and meeting space for youth amateur sports in the market. The residents are increasingly looking outside of Meridian for meeting space and especially for youth amateur sports facilities. And when I say outside the region, I'm even talking about outside the state. Many of our club sports and things like that will tell you they have to travel to Washington State, Oregon, Utah, and even further in order to participate in some of the activities. And they just don't have the ability to host here. And then the space that we are proposing would be flexible enough to where not only are you able to host these large scale tournaments, but you're going to be able to then have a blank space that you are able to host large scale community events. You know, the blank space one weekend could be a basketball tournament. The next week you're hosting a home and garden show here in Meridian, the center of the valley. You're looking at being able to host high school graduations here because this facility could seat upwards of 6,000 people in the type of facility, just easily configurable to different setups. The study also looked at the different facilities around what was available and what wasn't available. And then it gave us some ideas. So it looked at facilities across the nation. We trended towards this one. It's an example of a facility in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. So option 2, a flexible event center, is something that is a large enough space to where, as you see, it's 8 full-size basketball courts set up for a large-scale tournament. The red area there is almost 14,000 square feet of ballroom space that you could configure into one large space, or you could break into smaller spaces. It's got kitchen services, catering services. It's got lots of storage space for all the things that you need in order to convert from one weekend it's a wrestling tournament, next weekend it's a dance competition, and also large enough scale to where you're bringing in 2,000-3,000 people for these type of things, because that's what is missing, not only in the Treasure Valley, but missing in Idaho, is a large scale indoor sports complex to do these type of things. Let's go to page 16. Right. The Meridian Chamber took this on primarily because we see ourselves as representing the business community, and our economic development efforts are here to try and bolster the business community. The facility that I showed you is just an example of what could be built. But if we built something similar to that, you're looking at being able to host about 439 annual events, because you have multiple spaces in there. You're looking at an annual attendance of about 220,000 people attending events in that facility. You're looking at an additional 32,000 hotel room nights. So this is where our hotels really love an auditorium district, because then that's actually helping their demand. And we specifically listened to them when they said, we do great during the summer. We're at 80% occupancy during the nice weather times here in Idaho and things. But come October through March, we tend to drop in the 50% occupancy range, because there's not these indoor facilities that are attracting these type of activities to our area. So they're loving this as well. You're looking at about 319 full-time employment, full and part-time employment. But the big impact is it's about $25.4 million annually that a facility like this would generate for our local economy. That's people coming in, staying in our hotels, dining in our restaurants, shopping in our retail, visiting our attractions in our area. And as I tend to have to put this when we're presenting this to people, is these are people that are coming in, spending their dollars, and then going home. We're not necessarily looking to grow the number of people that live here with this effort, but we want to bring visitors here and have them spend their dollars with our community. One what does our district look like? So our district, based on the study and the boundaries that we have established for our district, will have about 1,243 hotel rooms in that district boundary. And let me tell you a little bit. Boise's district was established back in 1959. Their district boundaries are massive. They actually come into Meridian. They go all the way up to Eagle Road. So anything on the east side of Eagle Road is already in GBAD's district. So our district boundaries would start at Eagle Road and basically go to the county line. And I'll show you here in a moment what we've established as our district boundaries. Two things need to be in your district boundaries. Well, three. The first is the hotels that you're going to tax. They have to be in your district boundaries. So we drew our district boundaries to include all of the existing hotels and locations of future potential development of hotels. And two, it has to include the facility that you're looking to build. So we also drew our district boundaries to include potential locations of a facility, the size that we're looking to build. So we're not necessarily looking to locate this in the core residential areas. We're also not looking to take this down Eagle Road and add to the congestion on Eagle Road. And then the third thing is the commissioners that are elected have to live within the district boundaries as well. So, but our district, based on the number of hotel rooms and what our hotels are generating annually since recovery from COVID, we're looking at our district being able to generate between $2 and $2 million a year in funding that can be used to build, maintain, operate, and market a facility here in Meridian. That 2.2 million doesn't build the type of facility that we're proposing. But there are other mechanisms. There's bonding capacities once you establish the district. We've also already heard from developers that are interested in bringing this type of facility to the community. But the first thing they ask for is, well, how's the public going to support this? Is the city going to support something like this? Is the county going to put money into it? And in Idaho, the answer is no. You're not going to get taxpayers' dollars, local taxpayers' dollars to support these type of things. But visitors pay for that. Almost everywhere you go, you stay in a hotel, you have those fees on there that, you know, it's an auditorium district, it's a tourism fee, it's a bed tax or whatever. Almost every other community across the nation has this in place already. And it's something that we're hoping to establish here in Meridian. One of the things, the $2.2 million annually the district would generate is just the beginning, because as of right now, there are 6 other hotels in development in Meridian. A couple of them are actually waiting whether or not we get this district established, because then that's going to increase the demand for hotel rooms. But we anticipate that once this is established and those hotels are built, and the district will be generating in excess of $3.5 million annually based on the additional hotels. So that's what we're looking to do. And where are we at in that effort? We've raised about $121,000 to date. And this has been money raised from other businesses that see the value of us bringing this to the community, different stakeholders in the community. And that's paid for all of our marketing, the study. It's paid for our legal work to get on the ballot in May. And it's also paying for our signature gathering effort. We just recently contracted with a company that's out collecting signatures, because according to the statute, we have to get 10% of the registered voters within our district boundaries to sign a petition to get us on the ballot in order for people to vote yes or no on this. So our target is the May 2026 ballot, to be on that ballot with a yes or no question of establishing the auditorium district in Meridian. Fortunately, the statute allows us that the first 5 commissioners are included in that ballot question. So we are getting to put forward the first 5 commissioners as part of that ballot question. And we're finding commissioners that align with what it is that we feel like it needs to be built, so that it can be fast-tracked and get built here in our community. I would encourage you to visit our website, meridianauditoriumdistrict.org, find out more information, look at our district boundaries, see the details about, what we're trying to achieve with this. And with that, I'm happy to stand for any questions.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I'm really excited about the potential for that for our city and for potential art events and things we could host at that facility in the future. Anybody have any questions?
I do. So once, let's say it's built and it's established, who has the overall daily management of it? Does that pass on? You mentioned committees. Is it kind of like the pool house used to be run by a committee, or is that different?
Commissioner Paulson and the rest of the board, it is a taxing district, so it will be overseen by those commissioners that are seated, and then those commissioners actually will have to be elected on a regular cycle. The way the statute is written is once they're seated the first time, it goes into a every 2-year election cycle to where 2 are elected after the second year. After the 4th year, another 2 have to be elected or reelected. And then the 5th seat does get to sit for 6 years on that cycle. But that taxing district then controls all of the funds. They're the ones that are able to hire an executive director for the district. And then they will probably start looking at other studies of what actually gets built. They'll be the ones that can enter into partnership agreements with developers or landowners to acquire land and things like that. The chamber is not doing any of that. All we're doing right now is just trying to paint the vision of what it is a district could bring to our community. But it will be those commissioners that are seated with the vote that actually will be the ones making those decisions.
Quick question. The city of Meridian in general is not fond of bond measures. If you're going to get this on the ballot in one way or another, however the methodology of that is, people would probably say, yeah, that sounds like a really good idea, followed by the question, but how is it going to get paid for? Because a few slides back, I think I saw something like $55 million for this.
Excuse me.
Where's the money going to come from?
So
If the bed tax is going to raise 2.3 million a year,
Mhm.
and this thing is going to cost 55 million, it's going to take 26 years to build it. So where is the money to physically construct this thing going to come from?
Commissioner Taylor, great question. And there's several different mechanisms that can be used. Boise had the luxury of establishing their district in 1959 and just waiting until 1990 to build something because they were just banking all of that money. We don't have that luxury in Meridian. If we even have to wait 10 years, we're going to be out of space in Meridian to build any type of facility like this. So there are ways that the district can bond against its potential income, a bond that does not require the city to vote on, a bond that can be taken out based on its anticipated revenue based on that tax. The second vehicle that can be used is a developer come in and the developer builds the facility. They put the upfront cost and then they enter into an agreement with the district that over the life of that district, it's repaid to the developer based on those tax dollars that are collected. There's lots of different ways to do this instead of just waiting the number of years to get it done. There's other mechanisms in place as well that you can use, and it would be that commission's duty to find the best, most economical way to do it.
Anybody else have any questions for Sean?
Yeah, I missed what the total estimated project cost might be.
So when we did this study, it was 2023. Of course, everything has completely changed. It was between 55 and $60 million at that time, for about 160,000 square foot facility is what was being proposed. That's easily north of $80 million today with construction costs and things like that. So we fortunately do have a developer that's holding a piece of land and things like that they're willing to donate to it. This has got strong support in the area. So
Madam Chair, I have a question for Sean.
yes.
So I think because I watched the other presentation that you gave to the Parks Commission, the auditorium district, this is the facility that you're looking at now, but it also has the potential for other facilities
Yeah.
in the future down the road, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So we're trying, in order for the district to feed itself, you've got to build something initially that's going to bring visitors in, that's going to do that. But as Boise, Greater Boise Auditorium District did, years later, after they built the Boise Center and they have it built it out and things like that, they were looking for ways to spend their money elsewhere. So they did the aquatic center. We have identified other partners in the community that want to build other things. A performing arts center is something that is definitely, you know, on people's minds for our community. And we specifically redrew our district boundaries to include the land that is being talked about for potential future performing arts center or other facilities that this district could support. The district, you know, the main goal is that you're going to bring people into your community with this. You're going to primarily try and drive people to stay in your hotels, but other things could be funded from this district. You'll find that districts like this will fund a lot of community events that draw visitors and things. They can use those dollars that they generate on marketing to support community events that draw visitors. So there's lots of things that this money can be used for down the road.
Oh, thank you. That's really interesting that we could actually potentially in the future have a dedicated performing arts center.
Mhm.
I think that's something that we would value greatly. So
Absolutely.
great. Thank you. Yeah.
If I may, I just have a couple other things I wanted to bring to your attention. The chamber, we've got some efforts that align, I think, with the Arts Council's activities on some things. We are doing our first ever downtown car show, September 6th here in downtown. I think it wraps up just before your concerts on Broadway that night. So there'll be a lot of people here in downtown. And then our fourth annual Oktoberfest is October 4th, the first Saturday in October. Once again, that event brings about 12,000 people into downtown for that one-day event. So just wanted to remind you about those activities as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. Really appreciate your time. All right. Now let's hear from our fellow arts person here in Meridian, Nellie Grebian. She's going to talk to us about her quick draw event at Idaho Art Gallery during Arts Week. So thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. Can I pass these out real quick? Thank you for having me, and thank you for Cassandra for inviting me. So excited to be here. I'm excited to participate in Meridian Art Week again this year, but on a grander scale. So the closing day of Meridian Art Week is September 19th, which is a Friday. And that night we are hosting the first annual Quick Draw. A quick draw, for those of you that are not familiar, is an art competition where artists bring their easel and their canvas and their paints, and they set up all over downtown and in my gallery and all over. And they have 90 minutes to create a piece of artwork. And that 90 minutes starts at 6 o'clock and ends at 7:30. And they that we'll have jurors that will be walking around, making sure everything's on the up and up and staying clean and all those things. And then at the end, actually juring the pieces of artwork. And the top prize for the competition, the quick draw, is $1,000 in cash. And the second place prize is $500 in gift cards to downtown Meridian businesses that have been donated graciously by our friends here in downtown Meridian. So it is, it's going to be a very interactive event. We expect, at least 200-300 people to show up between folks that are participating in the quick draw and folks that are coming to support them, and then folks that are coming to watch. So it should be a pretty lively event. We got a permit to use Generations Plaza, and so they'll be all around that area as well, which will hopefully encourage people to watch the event and then eat at the restaurants right there and kind of make a night of it. That was kind of the point of doing on a Friday night. So, so we have a link on our website, which Cassandra pulled up here, a page on our website. But at the very bottom, artists can go and they can read all the rules and the eligibility and the requirements. Primarily, you have to be 18 years or older, so we're not dealing with minors or things like that. So you have to sign up, register for the event. There's a $20 fee to sign up for the event. That's where we're getting that cash prize. And you have to agree to the terms, which are that you'll you'll put a canvas down, you'll be tidy in your area, you'll clean up after yourself, make sure that your work is a certain size requirement, not too big. We have some smaller dimensions that we're asking people to do. It goes over the fact that your piece can either be framed or it can be, a cradle board, but the edges have to be taped off and nice and clean. In addition to the prizes, the first place prize being the cash and second prize being the gift cards, the artists have the opportunity to sell their pieces throughout this event. So when they come to register at the gallery, we'll give them a little piece of paper with their name on it, and they'll tell us how much they want for their piece they haven't even created yet, which is kind of fun. And then that piece of paper will be attached to their easel or their table, whatever they're creating on. And folks can walk around and say, oh man, I want to get that piece. And then they'll take that paper and they'll come pay for the piece, and they'll bring it back, put a big sold sign. So kind of fun. So definitely engaging for the entire community. And that's, I think, the point of Meridian Art Week, and hopefully this event as well. Yeah, registration online, pretty cut and dry. We'll be doing, we've already had 40 artists sign up. So we're shooting for 100. So I think we'll get close, maybe. If you know anybody, please encourage them. It should be a fun event. We'll start marketing and promoting towards the end of August, beginning of September, for the public to come and watch. And so that'll be fun as well. So any questions at all, or pretty simple?
Nellie, one question. What
Yeah.
did you mention the deadline for the registration?
I did not. It is September 12th, 1 week before the event. So the event is September 19th, and September 12th is the deadline. So, yeah, well, wonderful. I hope all you folks will be there and come check it out, and as well as all the other Meridian Art Week events, which are going to be wonderful. So,
Are they, I have a question.
yeah,
Are they doing plein air, or is it open to different?
great question.
Yeah, are they just painting what they see, or are they
Yeah.
bringing references?
Great question. So we went back and forth on this quite a bit. We thought, Should we require people to paint what they see, plein air, or can they have a reference photo? We concluded that since we're allowing amateurs, professionals, all sorts of folks, that we're going to allow them to do whatever they're comfortable with. So some folks will probably come with a reference photo that they're going to use to create their piece. And some folks might just stand there and paint, Sunrise Cafe across the street. I don't know. But it's all mediums. We encourage oils and acrylics and watercolors and all 2D, two-dimensional mediums. So, the jurors that we have selected are a wide range of people. Because this was more of a community event versus a fine art event, and we have all the mediums, and we have different sizes, and we have different, ages and different levels. We didn't want to take it too incredibly serious. So the jurors are not necessarily artists. They're just people who are appreciators and lovers of the art. And so they'll be looking for, cleanliness and technique and people to follow instructions. I imagine that'll be the major parameter. Can you start and finish in 90 minutes, So just some kind of some general things. So good question.
No, yeah, that's, how many jurors are there?
There's 3.
3, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be great. I just want to say thank you so much for participating in Arts Week. It's really important to us, and we appreciate you a lot. And
Yeah.
thank you for coming and presenting to us today.
Well, thank you. And then while I have just 2 more minutes, if I can, I have some exciting news about Idaho Art Gallery. I think most of you have seen you in there. But we are actually opening a second location in downtown Boise. So this is hot off the presses. I just got the keys a couple days ago. So we're keeping our Meridian location because it's doing well, and we really appreciate people's support, and and so it's we're growing and expanding there, and this community has been really supportive, so it's wonderful. But we've decided that from a marketing standpoint, it would be a good play to add in a second location and to be able to have more wall space to showcase additional artists and have some bigger events. And so anyway, we just wanted to kind of announce that here, and then we'll do our formal announcements in a few weeks. So
Oh, thank you
that.
for letting us know, and thank you for staying in our community. I think
Yeah.
we're excited that you're here, and it's nice to have a resource like that in Meridian. So we don't have a lot of gallery space here. But yeah, does anybody have any more questions for Nellie?
Yeah, one very quick question, Nellie. First of all, well, not a question. Thank you very much for your continued support for the art community. Congratulations on the second location. I'm pretty sure that this has already been thought about, but is there going to be some sort of statement in your requirements meeting community standards? Nothing political, religious, erotic, or violent.
Yeah, that's some really, really great feedback. I assume people would have that common sense, but I think that maybe you're right,
Nellie,
that I
do
should
not,
revisit that.
I run the gallery at the Meridian Co-op. Do not make assumptions.
Yeah, that's good
Because-
feedback. I will make sure I add that to our requirements. I guess I don't go there mentally, and so I should probably, but yeah, I absolutely, because I'm open to all ages in terms of viewership, so I think it's important that we notate that. And I'll send I'll do a big email for the artists, a few days before they come to the event, so I'll make sure I highlight that.
Because there have been some real doozies.
Yeah, good feedback. Thank you so much, Commissioner. I appreciate that.
All right, thank you so much.
What's that?
Very exciting.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm excited as well. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate it so much.
Yeah, thanks, Nellie. We appreciate you too. All right, let's move on. Lizzie Taylor's going to give us a update on Initial Point Gallery.
Hi, guys, it's just me again. Okay, current show, which is absolutely beautiful. It's featuring one complete wall of the works of our own Commissioner Brecken Bird. It's a portrait show. It's absolutely beautiful. The other artist has incredible glass work. It's just beautiful. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's called Myths and Morals. How many people did we have at the opening, Bridget?
I believe final count was like 41, 42.
Oh, good. It looked a little bit light when I was there, but it was a hot night. Okay. The upcoming exhibit is Large Men with Small Brushes. These are all guys who belong to the Idaho Watercolor Society, and Commissioner Shane's husband heads up this group, and they are all incredibly talented. They are all incredibly funny. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that they will all be there at the opening. Is that correct?
Almost all of them, I believe so.
Yeah, so be sure to attend that one because these guys are, I know a number of them, and they are proud of their work. They get together on a monthly basis, they have a good time, and their art is wonderful. That opening reception is Tuesday, September 2nd, 4 to 7:30 at the gallery, and the host is Bobby. Right? Curb your enthusiasm, Bobby. Anyway, and there will be a watercolor demonstration during Art Week, which will be on Tuesday, September 16th. Did I read that correctly? From 5:30 to 7, will be hosted by Brecken and Sean. Okay. Now on to a little bit of outreach. There has never, in my time on the Meridian Arts Commission, there has never been as much outreached as there has been this past summer. Apart and aside from the outreach that was done on the part of the Arts Commission at the Fine Arts Festival that was held recently, Cassandra and I did what we thought was a very solid presentation over at Touchmark on the 4th of August. It was a theater situation, literally theater seating, just like a theater. There were probably 25 to 30 people. They were very, very interested in what we were talking about, which was primarily public art. They had very insightful questions. We fielded the questions, I think, very happily. Well, we were happy to do that, but we also answered their questions. The only downside was it was about 90 degrees in the room. And Cassandra and I were just going, oh, yes. But anyway, it was very, very well received. And I think, and Cassandra, you might agree with me that the Touchmark community has a lot of artists, and they were very interested in, aside from the public art, they were interested in perhaps getting together as a group of artists to submit at our next call to artists for Initial Point Gallery. So it was kind of a mixed bag of presentation of public art and Initial Point. And then this morning, Sean and again, Cassandra and I went to the Meridian Senior Center and did primarily a presentation on public art. We put out a lot of postcards for people with internet access to go to meridiancity.org or do the QR code, stuff like that. There was a lot of interest. There was the typical objections like people saying, I don't want my money going to stuff that gets sprayed on by spray paint on. Well, okay. You just, you kind of counter the objection by saying, oh, it's not really that way. And I did have a gentleman ask me if he could put in his 50-cent contribution into my hand. And I said, no, the general fund of the city of Meridian will take care of that for you, but thank you so much for your willingness to participate. Anyway, so a lot of outreaching was outreached. End of report, finally.
All right, thanks, Lizzie. Really appreciate that, all the outreach you've been doing. All right, we'll turn it over to Sarah Alford, the Arts and Culture Assistant, to give us a update on concerts on Broadway. Hello, can't hear you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. So for our, am I going over all of them that we've done so far? Okay, so our first Concerts on Broadway was on July 12th, and that was Soul Patch. And they had kind of a Fleetwood Mac country vibe. And they were really good. Our estimated attendance was around 160 people. Weather was so hot, but it got to a breeze and plenty of shade. By the time the concert started, though, everything's in shade, so it's very nice. The only downside was that Holy Oli O's was our like donut vendor, one of our food vendors, and they stated that the event was great, but this isn't really the type of crowd, the demographic that they sell well to. So we're also still currently having some trouble getting more food vendors because it's just a hard event to sell substantially to, especially to book this late in the season on a Saturday is kind of hard. But the popcorn vendor that night was still a hit and not as much dancing, but still some dancing. And it was a good event. Our last one was August 9th, last Saturday, and that was Rockabilly. They were pretty good. They were really good. They did like 50s, 60s, women, female, rockabilly Betty hits. And that weather was much better, really great, not as hot. And they did a lot of different songs. And after each one, they would kind of give a brief history about it and the artist and stuff, that did the song and it's focused on female artists in particular. There are some very nice comments on the Parks and Rec Facebook page, and Cassandra received a message that said, "I was so impressed with Rockabilly. All of the musicians were so talented and the vocalists were so good together. I appreciated how they harmonized with each other and how their different voices fit the different singers and styles." This event had about 300 people. It was way bigger than the first one. Still not as much dancing. I don't know how to get people up and do that. Cassandra did try. And so our two vendors right now are still Loose Screw Brewing and Belong Co. So we'll see if we book any more vendors, but yeah, lots more people, lots of dogs, and yeah, it's very fun. Our next one and our final one is on September 6th, and it's the Billy Blues Band. They seem really fun, and you guys should come. You should come to it. It's really not that hard. It's really fun to sit and just hear the music. It's a pretty short event. It's very fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. We should come, sorry. Okay, everybody should have a packet in front of them, about Arts Week. And I think Cassandra's gonna lead us through that packet.
Yes, I'll
Yes.
just kind of touch on some of the things. So this packet is part of the activity guide. So it's kind of a special insert in the Parks and Rec activity guide, which thousands of people literally look at the activity guide. So the first page, this is actually page number 25 in the activity guide, but is the kickoff event. I know last year this was like the end event, but this is the kickoff this year, the community art party. Which hopefully you all have on your calendar at this point, and as many as possible of you are coming. We also have art drop again throughout the week, so remember to make your art drop pieces to sprinkle throughout the downtown area for other people to hide or for other people to find. And classes, we have drawing class with young Rembrandts, an intro to stop motion film class by Sarah Alford. Pottery class with little palettes. I wonder who that is. That's one of our commissioners, yes. And a line dance class. Last year, the line dance class didn't get as many people, but we've kind of pushed it to like an after school time. So we're hoping to get some people for the line dance one and the swing dance one. Those are both taught by Randy Latimer. He's one of the regular Parks and Rec instructors. Kinder music. So there's a music one with Music Center Studios, and that one's at their center. Then we have intro to hand drum and intro to belly dance, which are also, they're actually taught by a former art commissioner. And a paint session at the Angry Easel. That one has been really popular in the past. We also put a little add in for the quick draw competition on that page and the first ever public art walking tour led by Cassandra Schiffler on Friday. So I will be doing that during the quick draw competition because there's kind of more activity downtown. Thought it would be a good time. The next page has the chalk art competition, which is during the art party, but it has the registration and details on that page. Let's see. And then a class for a writing class that'll be at Unbound Library. That's one of Commissioner Paulson's contacts. And we have the large men with small brushes show up in the gallery and a watercolor demo during Art Week. And then the last page is kind of a general advertisement for the gallery. So that's kind of the insert that goes in there and a kind of overview of the Art Week activities. Thank you, Sarah, for all of the work on that. And then the next item on the agenda, which we were kind of talking about, but I wanted to put as a specific one, is the community art party, to talk about the chalk art competition a little bit and the mural details. So haven't looked at the sign up form, but I think we had 3 people available to judge. And Commissioner Smith will be there, but kind of like managing the mural. So we probably need a couple more judges. We kind of talked about like Joyce Green, inviting her. I know it's kind of hot out during the day. She might not want, but she knows she's one of our regular volunteers, so she might be good. Maybe Nellie, she's not here anymore, but if there's other people that you can think of that would be good judges, let me know so that we can make sure we have enough judges in place for all the categories. And then I have a presentation for the mural. Doo-doo. Okay, the art party mural artists, and thank you to Commissioner Smith for reaching out. These are actually, some of them were people that were in the mural school that you did last year. And people, so Andy Kelly is not someone we've worked with before, but she's been doing a lot of really cool projects. She just did a mural on the green belt. So here's an example that she sent, and 2 more ones, some interior ones, some really beautiful work. So excited about her. And Amber Sheldon actually won the chalk art competition last year. If you remember, this was her chalk art piece. So she was first place in the adult category for chalk art. And here's some of her other pieces. She's done quite a few like on glass, like murals on glass, a little bit more temporary. And hasn't done a ton of murals. So this is probably a good opportunity for her. And Lauren Benner does a lot of pieces with patterns, I've noticed. So this is one that's on a shed, but here's some of her other pieces. The one is like a section of the Commonweal mural that was part of the mural school class that Commissioner Smith did. And then the one in the middle is, she does like patterns for textiles. And the one on the right is a mock-up for something. So those are the artists. And then we're planning on doing the same design as last year and repeating the outlines because it was beautiful. But as many of you remember, we had people of all ages, and they kind of just ended up being, they weren't able to stay in the lines. So in addition to this one, we're going to do like a smaller cube. This image is AI generated, and I put a note on there so you all know. This is wow, right? Yes, but kind of to give you the idea of the paint this with like chalkboard paint so that it can be erased and kind of ongoing. For a kids area, it's a lot less messy. So if there's kids, the littler ones that are less likely to stay in the lines, or the parents don't really want them to get paint on their clothes, this is a good option for them to be able to participate. So that is what we're planning. Do you have any questions about the mural or art week or the community art party?
I can't recall off the top of my head, what time are we supposed to be there?
The event is 10 to 3, so 9 would be good last year to like mark up the chalk spaces and put the numbers on and just kind of give an overview. Yes, so 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, and performances. I'm still working on a couple of them. We're potentially going to try to get Marley flooring so that we could bring Idaho Fine Arts dancers back because they won't perform unless they have flooring because the concrete tore up their shoes. But looking at Idaho Fine Arts Academy, the women's chorus group that I'm forgetting the name of at the moment, but I'm sure, what is it, Sean?
Yeah. Is it called the Chordsmen? Boise Chordsmen?
No, the women's group, the women's one.
Oh,
the,
yeah, that's
Yeah, women's chorus group though. And the Treasure Valley Children's Theater is going to be the featured performance, and it's a Robin Hood production. So I don't know if you've noticed on some of the materials, and the chalk art competition is themed like Robin Hood and Sherwood Forest. So there's a little bit of a theme to the event this year. It's not heavy-handed, but asking the chalk artists to respond to it, and some of the decorations and stuff will kind of go with that Robin Hood theme. Andrew Nemmer is going to come with either TRICA students or Eagle Performing Arts Academy students. Huckleberry Star is not able to work this into their schedule this year. And then we have a band that's kind of an interesting project coming, and I'm probably missing someone, but that's kind of, Dance Arts Academy. There are some younger dancers. And Encore, maybe I'm waiting on a reply from them, but that's kind of the performers. So we have like a performance schedule lined up.
Excuse me, did you try to get Boise Chordsmen, men's barbershop quartet group? They are really strong singers.
Yeah, thanks,
Wonderful.
Commissioner Muscolo. So I really have been focusing on youth performers because that's where we have the funding for the performance. So we're still going to have the women's group because they brought a lot of people and really enjoyed that, but didn't reach out to anyone that wasn't specifically youth performers because I didn't have the budget to like help that.
Just out of curiosity, where does the mural go after it's finished?
Great question. Last year, we looked and tried to find places for more permanent locations. One of them we were able to install at Home Court inside. Exterior presented a lot of challenges just with weather and the way the boards are. So we're actually reusing boards from last year and just turning them around. So these are temporary, open to places where they could go, but we weren't able to find permanent locations for them.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Cassandra. And then there was some public art updates.
Public art updates. Yes. Okay. So as you all know, the survey is out and responses are due August 18th, which is Monday. So there's just a few days left. We currently have 183 completed and around 75 partially completed. So not too bad. I was hoping for a few more, but any last pushes that you can do to share with your network. If you haven't taken it, please take it. If your partner hasn't taken it, make them take it. If your kids haven't taken it, have your kids take it. We'd like to have as many responses as possible. So if you can reshare that, much appreciated. And after it closes, the next thing that we'll be working on, so Meredith will be with VIA Partnership, our consultant, will be coming back in October. And in lieu of the October 9th MAC meeting, we're going to have a public art workshop in meeting rooms A and B just here in City Hall from 5:30 to 7:30. So that'll be the Arts Commission, some artists, some park staff, hoping to get ACHD representatives there, some downtown businesses. So it'll be kind of an invitational workshop, and then we'll break out. We talked about this in the workshop a little bit, but some of the breakout groups. I am hoping that we have enough arts commissioners. We just need 5 that are willing to like be the to help like lead the groups. So keep in mind that you might be asked to help be the facilitator for your small group for like there'll be like 5 or 7 people, but just to kind of like help people get situated, introduce people to each other, and you'll get instructions ahead of time. So that starts at 5:30, so maybe plan to come more like at 5 so we can get instructions for those, what that looks like and what we need help with. And October 9th, so please put that in your schedule. It's the regular MAC meeting day, but instead of the 3:30, we're going to cancel the regular meeting and have a special meeting from 5:30 to 7:30. And hopefully that's enough time to get that in your calendar, work schedules, childcare schedules, etc. Traffic boxes, the work is out to the vinyl vendor for all the West Data School District ones. Sometimes this feels like a really long project because they don't get installed till the fall, but between getting the images to them and them going out and measuring everything, it seems like it doesn't usually happen until September. But anyway, those are slated to go. And the Safe Passages, Linda Road Median, no updates from last time. That's ongoing, but that's a long-term project. Community Center Public Art, in your meeting packet, there was a PDF attachment. So the Parks and Rec has signed off on the plan, and so take a look at it. And then after we get through event season and this workshop, then I want to spend a little bit of focus on that. So we'll create a subcommittee and think a little bit more about the community center projects and more specifically what we want to see there to get artists under contract and things so that we can get some of those pieces installed with the building. And that is it from me. Any questions?
Love to volunteer for that subcommittee if you need people.
Yes.
So the thing on October 9th, sorry, I didn't quite catch all of that. Can you just review that real quick?
Okay, so it'll be a special workshop meeting, probably 30 to 40 people, meeting rooms A and B. Please attend if you can. If you have something, let me know so that I don't assign you to be one of the leaders of the small groups. But we're going to talk about, it's a workshop that they do called Imagine Art Here. And so we'll have some maps and the groups will break out, and one group will focus on downtown, two groups will focus on parks, just because we do have a lot of public art in parks, and we'll probably continue to do that. One group will be ACHD, like roadways. So each group will kind of take their focus area, think about envisioning what public art could look like, what areas would be good. So they're kind of like smaller focus groups, and then come back to the larger group to report out. And it won't be like, we're kind of like, it's idea generation, and we're not going to come out of that meeting with like, this is what we're doing then, but it's to get some feedback and some ideas and workshop through that.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, yeah, and as Cassandra said, that will be our next. So we will have no meeting in September. The September meeting is canceled. Please come to Art Week and Art Week activities. And then, yeah, October meeting will be canceled. And in lieu of that, we will have this Imagine Art Here workshop on the same day, 5:30, 7:30. Please come. And do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Madam Chair, so moved.
All right, Lizzie moves. Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, Crystal seconds. Any, or all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.